Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on global television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday rewarded the Super Eagles of Nigeria with a national award, Member of the Order of the Niger, MON, flats in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and piece of land. President Tinubu made the pronouncement when he received the players and officials of the Nigerian Football Federation at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa, Abuja. The delegation is led by the Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owanda Enoch. The Super Eagles have finished as runners-up in the just concluded African Cup of Nations hosted by Cote d'Ivoire. State governments have been charged to prioritize the fight against substance abuse in their strategic work plan for a safe and secure society. Critical stakeholders, including First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, as well as the Chairman and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, gave the charge as part of efforts aimed at intensifying the fight against substance abuse in their strategic work plans for a safe and secure society. This formed a major talking point at the opening ceremony of a two-day training on drug prevention, treatment and care, DPTC, organized by the Agency for Wives of State Governors in Abuja. Sharon Ajay brings us details.
Speaking at the event, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who was special guest of honor, tasked the state to see the war against the drug manians as a collective effort. The First Lady, who was represented by wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Egbetokun, commended Marwa and the Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum for the initiative, added that drug abuse is not just a law enforcement issue, but a public health crisis. She further urged governor spouses to challenge the stigma and discrimination associated with addiction and foster a culture of empathy, understanding, and solidarity towards those struggling with substance use disorders.
I commend the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency under the leadership of His Excellency Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, CON-OFR, for organizing this vital training and for your ongoing efforts in combating drug abuse in Nigeria. I equally commend the chairperson of the Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum, Her Excellency Ambassador Dr. Olufolake Abdulrazak, for this significant collaboration.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi San, in his remark, commended the resourcefulness of the NDLEA leadership in utilizing the Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum to cassette the drug war into the grassroots and the community level, saying the issue of drug use is not confined to any region or social strata, but affects every corner of the nation and propagates crime and other criminalities across the world.
I commend the corporate of NDLEA and the chairperson of the Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum for conceptualizing this project, especially at this time that the nation is facing a lot of insecurity and other associated challenges. Your involvement in this training underscores your commitment to combating the scourge of drug abuse and its devastating effects on individuals, families, and societies.
The NDLEA boss, in his remarks, says the devastating effect of substance abuse on public health, the environment, and its nexus with the spat of insecurity faced across the country has made it mandatory for a whole-of-society approach to curb the scourge.
The drug prevention, treatment, and care DPTC training is a seminal approach to tackling the illicit drug crisis in society. Our presence here today underscores the crucial role that each of us plays in addressing the multifaceted challenges posed by the substance abuse in our states and communities.
The NDLEA boss further urged the governor's wife to take advantage of their position to mobilize support for drug prevention and treatment in their states. Sharana J. reporting for Global TV News.
The Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum NGSF has called on the federal and state governments to declare the state of emergency of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria with a view to mobilizing to tackling the pandemic. The call was one of the resolutions in the communique signed by the chairperson of the forum and First Lady of Kwara State, Ambassador Olufalake Abdulrazak, issued on Tuesday, 13 February 2024, at the end of a two-day drug prevention, treatment and care DPTC training organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for wives of state governors in Abuja, while acknowledging the urgent need to take control and reinvigorate the state drug control committees for optimal functioning for the states that have one, and encourage states that do not have to constitute one to increase the rehabilitation programs that focus on holistic recovery, addressing both physical and mental health of drug addiction, as well as harm reduction. The governor's wife stressed the need for the federal government and state governors to declare state of emergency on illicit drug use and trafficking pandemic with a view to mobilizing resources to tackling it. The National Assembly has called for the immediate empowerment of farmers with modern tools and financing to address the challenge of hunger and food security. Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, made the call in Abuja at a high-level strategic engagement on climate change, food systems, and resource mobilization. The event was organized by the African Union Development Agency, a new partnership for Africa's development, NEPAD. Kalu specifically called for urgent steps to address Nigeria's food security challenges and harness agricultural opportunities of the nation. A bill for an act seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution to change the educational qualification for elections into certain political offices has been stepped down by the leave of the House of Representatives. Standing in the name of Adewumi Onanuga, the proposed legislation aimed at pegging minimum qualification for elections into governorship, presidential, and other key elective offices in the country. Leading the debate during plenary session, Onanuga, who represents the Ikenne and Salami and Remo North Federal Constituency, Ogun State, argued that the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 should be amended to make it compulsory for elective office holders to have a university degree or its equivalent, as against the current provision which allows a first school living certificate holder to vie for the highest office in the land. The House of Representatives has urged the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, to immediately deploy an armored personnel carrier, APC vehicles, to Mopo 64 base in Obiohia, Idiatu South Local Government Area, Idiatu North and South Federal Constituency of Imo State. The lawmakers mandated its Committee on Police Affairs to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. The resolutions follow the adoption of a motion sponsored by Honorable Ikenga Ugo Chineye after the plenary. The lawmakers said the House was aware that Mopo 64 base located in Obiohia in Idiatu South Local Government Area of Idiatu North and South Federal Constituency serves as the operational base for the mobile police in the first federal constituency and its environs. The federal government has pledged its commitment to expand the community radio as a tool to strengthen the nation's democracy. This was disclosed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement issued in commemoration of the World Radio Day. World Radio Day is celebrated annually every February 13th. Idris stated that the theme of this year's celebration, Radio, a century informing, entertaining, and educating, reflects the remarkable achievement of radio as a means of communication and information for over 100 years. despite the advent of social media. Idris also stated that owing to the radio's wide-reaching information dissemination, the government has initiated necessary reforms in the process of establishing community radio stations. The federal government has reiterated the importance of an efficient transport system to the Nigerian economy. The government said an efficient transportation system would be beneficial to agriculture and food security, marine and blue economy, tourism, industrialization, manufacturing and trade, national integration, amongst others. Minister of Transportation Said Al-Khali said this at a two-day ministerial retreat on signed performance bind for workers for the ministry in Abuja. The minister urged the permanent secretary to ensure that the directors and heads of agencies of the ministry pass the outcome of the retreat to other officers who were not privileged to attend the retreat. Borno State Governor Professor Babangana Zulum has distributed food items worth 225 million naira to over 70,000 vulnerable families in Bama local government area of the state. Speaking at the distribution ceremony, Zulum said the distribution of the foodstuff and cash was to assist communities affected by insurgents and families struggling for livelihood. According to him, the gesture is also to prevent the victims from being recruited into insurgent groups. A total of 45,000 females received 50,000 naira cash and one wrapper each, while each household received 25,000 naira with a bag of rice and maize grain. The National President of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, Ogogo Musa, has organized a visioning and planning workshop program for wives of military personnel to help them achieve their individual dreams. Represented by Helen Kenyan, the DEPOA president says the empowerment workshop is aimed at helping them create balance and fulfillment for their lives as women, which will lead to the realization of their vision and aspiration. Kike Lomo Okere tells us more.
Personal vision is the process of creating a clear and compelling mental image of what the person wants to achieve or become in future. Speaking at the event in Abuja, President of the DEPOA says it is imperative for women to acknowledge the complex roles they shoulder as modest wife, professionals and caretakers of the home. According to her, women find themselves entangled in a way of responsibility where they pursue their own dreams that they may seem unachievable. According to her, it is against this backdrop that the workshop is organized to address the issue of lack of vision.
Balancing the demands of work, family, and personal growth can often feel like an overwhelming task. We find ourselves entangled in a web of responsibilities where the pursuit of our own dreams may seem unachievable. It is important to note that within each of us lies so much untapped potentials. Today, we come together to awaken that potential, to shed light on the dreams and desires that have been dormant within us.
She added that the importance of personal visioning is a foundation, direction, and inspiration which ignites passion and enthusiasm, noting that with focus on prioritization, resilience, and adaptability, dreams will be achieved.
For many, the challenge is not in the lack of ambition or clarity of purpose, but in articulating, actualizing those dreams. The magnitude of our responsibilities can cast a shadow over our aspirations, leaving us feeling overwhelmed and directionless. It is against this backdrop that the workshop was organized to address the issue of lack of visioning. It is expected of us to engage in meaningful discussion, reflective exercise, and actionable strategies aimed at empowering each of us to take decisive steps towards our goals.
Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Some hoodlums attacked officials of NAFDAC who were on enforcement operation against substandard drugs in Abuja. The officials who were attacked by the hoodlums joined a raid at Area 1 Motor Park. The hoodlums harassed the enforcement officers, including mobile policemen, and stoned the agency's vehicle, breaking its windscreen. The team, led by Omar Ahmed Suleiman, an Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, said the raid followed intelligence received by the agency about the high volume of substandard drugs in the park. The Lagos State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging the National Assembly to commence an urgent constitutional amendment to allow for the creation of state police. The lawmakers said the call followed the growing threat of kidnapping and other forms of insecurity in Nigeria. At a plenary session presided over by Speaker Mudashiru Obasa, the House also called for the proper equipping of the Neighborhood Safety Corps to support other security agencies in Lagos State. Obasa therefore urged the state government to allocate a specific percentage from the Security Trust Fund to strengthen the corps in the state. The Speaker said it would be good for the root causes of insecurity to be addressed through effective youth engagement initiatives, including sports. The police in Anambra said they arrested 2 suspected serial killers cultists in Ihiala, local government area of the state. The suspects were arrested during a special operation by the police crack squad deployed by the Commissioner of Police Aderemi Adeoye. DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, the police public relations officer in the state, disclosed this in a statement on Monday in Onitsha. The spokesperson said both suspects were arrested in their hideout at Okija within the same local government area. He disclosed that the command had directed the squad to smoke out all cultists in the state and clip their wings. A Benue High Court presided over by Chief Judge of the state, Maurice Ikemba-Bese, has ordered the reinstatement of Austin Agada as the chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Ikemba-Bese gave the order while ruling on a motion seeking to set aside the interim order restraining Agada from parading himself as chairman of the APC in Benue. Agada was suspended by the Benue High Court in Aliaide, presided over by Justice Lilian Sumba, over allegations of anti-party activities. Former Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said on Tuesday that $6.2 million was released from the Central Bank of Nigeria in February 2023 using a forged document. Mustafa stated this when he appeared as a fourth prosecution witness in the ongoing fraud trial of the immediate past CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele before the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Maitama, Abuja. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had alleged that on February 8, 2023, Emefiele connived with one Odo Ocheme, who is now on the run, to obtain $6.2 million from the CBN, claiming it was requested by the SGF by a letter dated 26 January 2023. The Anti-Graft Agency also alleged that Emefiele in January 2023 forged a document titled Re-Presidential Directive on Foreign Election Observer Missions, dated 26 January 2023, led in evidence by the prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs, SAN. On Tuesday, Mustafa noted that neither the documents came from the president nor his office. He also denied receiving any amount from the said money. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and all the handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, Naira reaches all-time low of 1,534 Naira to the US dollar at the official market. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of News Cycle. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, the leader of the military junta in Niger Republic, General Abdulrahmani Tiani, has pledged that none of the three Sahel countries will seek readmission to the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. He also affirmed that the junta will never release the deposed President Mohamed Bazoum, who was taken hostage following the July 26, 2023 coup in the country on January 27, 2024. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger announced their plans to withdraw from the membership in the ECOWAS, despite repeated efforts at reconciliation. And moving to Liberia, Liberia's new defense minister has resigned from his post just 10 days after being appointed following a protest by soldiers' wives, the presidency confirms. The resignation marks the first political crisis facing Liberia's new president, Joseph Boakai, since his inauguration at the end of January. The presidency said in a statement that Boakai has received and accepted the letter of resignation from the recently confirmed Minister of National Defense, Prince Johnson. In his resignation letter, Johnson cited the current political and civil disturbances occasioned by the protests of women believed to be wives of servicemen. And rapidly top Israel spy chief has headed to Cairo Tuesday for talks with his Egyptian and United States counterpart on the Gaza truce proposal. This called Mount over the war. Mossad Director David Burns will meet CIA Chief William Burns. Israeli officials said, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the discussions, they will be joined by in the Egyptian capital by Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, who also serves as the country's top diplomat and has brokered previous Gaza ceasefires. Washington sources familiar with development confirmed Monday that the Burns is expected in Cairo for talks on the Qatari brokered truce proposal after Israel rejected the initial response last week from Gaza rulers Hamas. And that's how we call it a wrap on the news cycle on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momod saying thank you for joining me on the news and see you again.